Hello everybody, this is Conquering History Games and welcome to a new campaign here on the channel, Hearts of Iron 4, Waking the Tiger. No longer are we on the early access, so great. I'm going to be playing one of the Warlords today before we turn to... I just want to see how the Warlord mechanics sort of play out over the course of a game. I think it should be interesting. I know a lot of people have been playing the Guanxi clique, but we're going to do Yunnan, although I am pretty interested in Jibi-san-ma, but we're gonna do Yunnan today. I think it's gonna give us a bit of a challenge. No historical AI focuses, and I'm also not gonna do Iron Man mode because I'm having some PC issues right now, and there's only like 2 achievements anyway for the Warlords. I could just get them on my own time, so we're not gonna be doing Iron Man mode, but there won't be any edited footage, so I don't want any accusations that I'm cheating in before the accusations come. Also, I'm going to be playing a regular instead of elite. I talk about it at the end of my Republic of China campaign run. Why I'm not going to be doing elite difficulty anymore. Basically, what it boils down to is elite difficulty doesn't make the game harder, it just makes it slower. But we're doing non-historical AI focuses here because I really want to see what's going to happen, like how wacky and crazy China is going to get. Without any historical AI. So is Japan still going to attack? Who's going to side with the nationalists? Who's going to side with the communists? There's just definitely a lot of things that could happen here. I think it's going to, I'm hoping it's going to really turn into a free-for-all out there. Wait a minute. Okay, let's get our general sign and get training. Great. Awesome. We need to do some research here. I'm going for infantry equipment out of the gate as well as artillery. We need to get some better stuff. We've only got 3 factories right now. Alright, now I'm jumping in pretty quick here because when I was messing around a little bit on the early access, when you're playing as the cliques, there's really not much to do in the early game, so I just figured I'd talk about why I'm playing them after I get started. So I know a lot of people have been playing the Guanxi clique, but I think that's... First off, I don't want to do that because everybody's doing it, but also I think it's a little bit too easy. You have access to too many resources, too many factories, your army's too big at the start. Well, not too big, maybe saying too big and too much is the wrong word for this, but what I mean is I feel it's a little bit too strong for what I want to do. So that's why we're going to be going with Yunnan. We've only got 4 factories right now. One of them's being eaten up by consumer goods. Only 3 divisions at the start, and they're all green. Only 1 factory for producing any sort of military equipment. We don't have access to any sort of resources except for tungsten, which, incidentally, I think they need to fix that because Yunnan, depending on who you ask, I'm not Chinese, I don't know, but Yunnan is the place for aluminum. That's where the most aluminum in China comes from. And that there is no aluminum in there at the start is, I think, criminal. Of course, and it's not like I'm going to be building planes out of the gate, but there should just be aluminum there, is all I'm saying. I think there is a decision available that's going to allow that you can then mine for some aluminum there, but there should be at least a little bit of it from the start. That's all I'm saying. End of sermon. Yunnan, interesting part of China. Very old part of China. It's been part of it for centuries. Although centuries are margin of error when you talk about Chinese history. Home to several ethnic minorities, including the Yi people, spelled Y-I, but I believe it is pronounced E, including Long Yun, who himself is ethnically a member of the Yis. Also, the KMT is nominally in charge here, as opposed to up here in Jibi-san-ma, where they're not aligned, but they do have the Ma clique. But we're just waiting around for a while. I don't think we're going to be doing a border conflict for at least a couple of years. Maybe not a couple of years, but late 1937 at the very earliest is what I'm thinking. Maybe eventually when I do a Jibi-san-ma playthrough, that's probably when I will go down cooperation with the nationalists and try to, from the inside, take over China and become the new China. become the legitimate government. But what I'm going to do here today is the rival government. So we're going to take opposition, rival government, and that's going to let me institute the cross-border raids, which I think is going to be really fun. Okay, another slot. What's going on? Okay, 3 more days until that artillery's ready. Okay, done. Great. Next, unfortunately, I don't start with any land doctrines pre-researched, which is another weakness. I think now we can go for the engineering. Whoops, wrong one. For the engineering and basic machine tools. And let's swap this out early so the production efficiency can grow. I'm not going to trade for the steel just yet, not until I've completed a 3rd factory, which is probably going to take a while, but I think as soon as I have the political power to do it, I'm going to switch over here to partial mobilization. Normally I like to wait until I have access to war economy, but it's going to take a very long time before I'm able to do that. Also, we only have 1 division template. It's not very good at all. It's just a 2x2. So we're definitely, we're not even starting from the ground floor here. We're starting from the basement. But after the public education reform is done, we'll go ahead and secure the internal politics. Or I'm going to go ahead and secure the internal politics so that I can start getting some more army experience so I can modify the division templates faster. So without historical AI on, I'm really curious as to how everything's going to play out. Maybe we'll see Germany go to the Kaiser? No, we're not. Germany's going to stick with Hitler. Alright, how about Japan? What's Japan doing? Japan is also still going historical. How boring. Well, that's a real shame. I wasn't expecting like communist Japan or anything, but it would have been interesting if they, maybe did the Showa restoration or something. But China will be invaded, so that's going to be something we have to think about as far as how the game as a whole is going to play out. That tells me I probably should prioritize also doing some border conflicts with China so I can take away their land as quickly as I possibly can. And we're only getting 0.58 political power a day right now because we are suffering from government corruption, which is also lowering our stability by 10%, but also reducing our political power gain by 10%. Also, there's an ineffective bureaucracy, which is lowering our daily political power gain by 0.25. Okay, what is next? Do I just want to take mechanical computing early, just so it can be knocked out as soon as possible? I think so, because it's going to be a very long time before I can get a 4th research slot. So let's just get rid of that. Afterwards, the things I really want to get is support weapons 1, and I really should pick doctrine. I did Grand Battle Plan for the Republic of China campaign, so I'll probably change it up. Right now I'm thinking superior firepower. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, we're done here. Let's get the partial mobilization. So as far as construction is concerned, that's going to bring it to the 15th of March when I can get that 3rd research slot. We do have some units ready for deployment now, and we're going to train them up as soon as they come out. The key to this is, I think, going to be getting that first victory, getting that first successful border conflict, so it'll give me some breathing room. It gives me some more factories. It's going to weaken the other factions of here in China, and I think we're going to do dispersed industry actually. Oh yeah, that is what I'm going to do. Okay. Come on, I'm waiting for this to be done already. The sooner this is done, the sooner I can trade for some steel, and I can get the units out faster. Let's do that. Okay, great. Time for military theorists, so that's going to be helpful when the time comes for picking the land doctrine. And I think it will be superior firepower. Probably going to do, yeah, superior firepower on my research. And what's really nice is I have in my military high command the ability to do to get the artillery expert, which is really great, plus 15% artillery attack. So I figure that's one of the reasons why I want to stack that with the superior firepower trait. So I could just start to have ridiculous artillery. What's China up to? Or actually, what's everyone else up to at all? They're preparing for a war with Japan. They're going with Maoism. Geez, what's the point of turning off the historical AI if everybody's just going to do the same thing? These guys haven't chosen who they're siding with yet. I'm going with opposition, of course. And I don't think I'm actually going to grab cross-border raids just yet because I don't have the political power anyway. So because of that, I might grab something else. Either war taxes or long-term economic planning. War taxes, the minus 10% consumer good factories doesn't really help a whole lot because I've only got one factory in there anyway. And infrastructure construction speed is not super relevant either. But it's just something that's going to get me closer to taking the rival government, and I'm still accumulating political power. I'm not going to be going fascist. It was something that I had considered doing because the Yunnan begin with 20% fascist. So I could do it faster, but I've decided against it because whether you go down rival government or the alternative I was maybe thinking was doing the power struggle thing by cooperating with the nationalists, the nationalist focus tree basically compels you to either stay non-aligned or go democratic because you need to do that to get rid of these negative national spirits. So, for example, over here, China, regular nationalist China, suffers from an ineffective bureaucracy, which just lowers the recruitable population factor by minus 35%. That's not a big deal. You're China. You have tons of political power. Wait a second. Let's move these guys over here. Yeah, so it doesn't matter, really. But when you're suffering from that ineffective bureaucracy as a warlord, you're losing political power as a result of it, which is much worse. So you're much more compelled to actually deal with that. All right, next, I think support equipment could be in order. Oh, good. Are we getting some heat acclimation? No, not really. Well, a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Okay, waiting on one more of these. Let's just get it out. Alright. After the public works, then it's going to be time for a border conflict. The cross-border raids, just so we have the decision available. And again, I think whenever you're playing as a warlord, I think the key here is winning at least the first border conflict, because when you do that, not only are you going to get an additional province, you're going to get your political power back, so it sort of pays for itself. Of course, you're spending equipment, and you have to fight successfully and things like that, and you lose control of your soldiers for a tiny bit, but overall, I think it's a good thing. Okay, I'm short on infantry equipment. It's going to take 1 month to fill up. Let's keep piling on with the artillery. No more building slots already, so just infrastructure until I can think of something else to do. And I probably won't. Yeah, we do have the 3. It's time to trade for steel. Okay, we've got 100 surplus units of artillery right now. I think if I go with support artillery, it's going to, 12. That's definitely what I'm doing. Okay. I should have made a duplicate of that, actually. Oh, well. Alright, we were able to fill up that surplus, actually. So that's pretty great. Alright, one of you is done. Actually, all of you guys need to train just a little bit more. Okay, dispersed industry is done. Do I want reinforce rate? Probably not. But I do want interwar artillery, so we can put that to work as quickly as possible. I mean, we can make all of our artillery as strong as possible. Okay, stop your training. You need to still train. What are we waiting for? Okay, no, we're all filled up. Good. I want to start putting more infantry in here now. Or maybe, depending on how much of each of these things that I can get, I might either add another line artillery or more infantry equipment. It's probably going to be the infantry equipment. A little bit of entrenchment never hurt anybody. Okay, but now that we've got that set up, I think we're going to start heading down here so that as soon as I've won this first fight against the Guangxi clique, I can immediately begin making plans against China. It looks like Japan's not going for China right away, which I think if they don't do it early is going to be bad for Japan, but it's kind of good for me. I want Japan to weaken some of these Chinese factions if they can, but I don't want them actually to win. Again, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a bit of a free-for-all. All right, they're cooperating with the communists. Makes sense. They're cooperating with the nationalists. Also makes sense. Who are you going with? They're going with the communists. And China's going to focus on Japan. I don't think there's going to be a united front here. Alright, now I need to figure out which of these I'm going to add. If I add an artillery piece, I'll be short about 100. And if I add infantry, I'll be short about 300 pieces. I'm going to go for the artillery, just to get that bit of extra soft attack. But first, actually, let me duplicate. These are the border divisions. And we'll add some artillery into them. Let's also change this up. What do we want? What do we want? Let's go with a shark for right now. Okay, wait, just train a little bit. Everybody, actually, you just come in here. Okay, how long is it going to take to make up for this deficiency? 78 days. I know part of that is because I'm actively training them. So once I'm done training them, I'll probably take the decision, because then it is going to take an additional 30 days after I take the decision before I can actually escalate the border conflict. Come on. Come on. We're almost done. Almost got it. I want that plus 25%. Okay, good. Now it says it's going to take 63 days. What's this? Oh, support equipment, right. That'll be whenever I get a fourth slot. Okay, war taxes are done. Yeah, I'm still just going to have the one. Can't get rid of it. We don't want fascism or democracy or anything like that. I don't want to spend any of this, no, because we're saving up for that border conflict. And we could go cult of personality, which would negate the effects of the government corruption. No. We're gonna go for the border clashes. I'm going to go for the border clashes with the nationalists. And I don't think there's any sense in waiting. Actually, it looks like they're training at least a couple of these divisions right now, so this might be the best time to attack. Let's begin staging that incident. This is a hill. This is plain. This is also a hill. Planning bonus is all set. don't think there's a whole lot else I could do. Just wait. What's Japan doing? Okay, they're doing the conference. They might attack China soon. So the question really becomes, do I invite Chiang Kai-shek and maybe get him to form a united front? And I might have to kind of carry China through this war. On the other hand, I've only got 6 divisions. It's not a whole lot to carry with. Alright. I don't think there's anything else I could do. Actually, let's give it those 10 days. I have a few days before I actually need to attack, just to get the little bit... Oh, good! Interwar artillery just finished up, too. I just want to make sure I have every single necessary gun on the front line. Good. Construction, maybe? How am I doing on efficiency cap? I'm getting pretty close. Okay. Wait, no, actually, we're going to do the... Just get this first superior firepower doctrine. And now, we're going all in on this fight here. Okay, our attack is... Wait, we've only got 1 division in there. Come on, everybody else. Maybe I should have gotten radio. Alright. Now we're winning. More of our divisions are arriving by the day. Goodness, they've got 10 divisions in this area. We have to fight our way through. See, this is wow. This has got to be really. This has to be a really emotional border conflict. You know, the twins fighting each other. He's got a lower division recovery rate, so that's good. It says we're gonna win in about a week. Oh, I'm on pins and needles. Because there's, what, 4 or 5? Yeah, I think there's 5 factories here. So that'll almost double what I've got. Oh, hold on a second. Let's just pick a new focus. Set up the border clashes. And, yeah, we're just waiting. We're still just waiting for that. Six more divisions we have to get through. 2 days. Zog has submitted. Less than a day. Got it. Victory in Guangxi. The clashes in the borderlands between Yunnan and Guangxi saw our forces win a clear victory over the forces of Li Zongren. The Guangxi forces have fallen back to regroup, and our forces have taken control of the disputed area. We've shown them our strength. So we also got our political power right back. Now, I can't attack them again for 6 months, and I have to at least wait for this to finish up as well. So I think I might spend some of this high command. And I think it's going to be on the artillery. Having it I mean, they're both experts, which is great, but I think artillery is the one I want. Because I can't even take any of these. I don't have the choice to. Alright. Meanwhile, let's see how many extra divisions I can also build. Very good. Alright, we've gone up to 10 factories. But they were all civilian factories, apparently. But I don't need to trade for steel anymore, so that's going to give me 1 back. And I will trade for... Let's see, who do we want to help out? I think it's Hungary or something. For right now, let's put them... I'd like for there to be a border conflict here. I don't think I'm going to get much of a choice, though. Excellent. Excellent, though. Very good. Maybe I should go fascist. If I'm going to go fascist, it's not going to be until after I unite China, basically. So I wouldn't worry too much about it right now. I just thought, do I even have any plane technology? I have none. The thought just crossed my mind. I don't have a single plane to my name. As well as no navy. We are little more than bandits. But soon, we will be China. Also, while we're here, might as well assign our field marshal and give him something. Let's see, he's a war hero. Army reassignment duration is plus 50%. Promotion cost minus 15%, minus 50%. You see, if they're going to have these promotion cost things, and sometimes field marshals start with them, they need to create another chain of command level or something, so that whoever's at the bottom, it's better to promote them. Like if you see someone who's a career officer, for example, you can think, oh, okay, so they're at the bottom tier, but I can get them to tier 3 eventually. Right now, there's just 2 tiers. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I'm not on early access anymore, meaning that Waking the Tiger has already come out, and so I stopped playing on the early access version, and now I have the patch stuff. Reinforce rate, maybe. Then again, you can't go wrong with the defensive doctrine, but let's go for the charismatic, and yeah, we'll get the entrenchment. Okay, we're working on that support equipment. So when I eventually accumulate enough, I'd also like to add an engineering company. Of course, I have to also research that, and it's still 22 days away. What's Japan doing? Are they doing the... No. Maybe they just won't attack China at all. Just because they've gone down this faction doesn't necessarily mean they have to. They could strike south and skip the Chinese stuff entirely. We just have to wait and see, I suppose. I think we can also go to speed 5 here. All right, about 40 days. That's when this is done. I won't quite be able to do another border clash, but that's okay. We're going to keep going down here towards proclaiming the rival government, and once I do that, I can then have cores, so I'll get more manpower. Great, right on time. Okay, I need 168 more. It says it's going to take over a year to take care of that, which tells me I might need to redistribute this a little bit. Let's get our efficiency caps up to. Let's see, staging an incident, Xinjiang, Jibisama. You see, the reason I want this province, if I can get it, is because then that gives me a border with the Ma clique, and then I could start to take their provinces as well, which aren't worth very much, but again, it just gives me more options because I have to take 6 months in between each person I attack. I just thought I probably should stop building that infrastructure and instead be building some military factories. Polish-Romanian alliance. Has Stalin already done the purge? Yeah, wait a minute, I knew it. I saw that pop up. Yeah, he already did the purge. Alf Landon's running the United States. That's usually what happens on ahistorical. Wonder if they've already finished up all the Pax Americana stuff. Oh, Republican Spain won the Spanish Civil War. Okay. Now I could... Okay, perfect. I could stage an incident at this border, which is exactly what I'm going to do the moment I've got 100 political power. That is the key. Not very many resources, but again, it allows me to then rotate between 3 of the different Chinese nations. Come on. Okay, let's stage it. We're still pretty short on support equipment. How many more days is it going to take to fill it up? 115. I've got aluminum. I've got all the supplies I need. Just gotta wait, I guess. Those war taxes are going to start paying off more as I get more of these factories. See, I think right now I'd have one more consumer good factory if I hadn't taken war taxes. Let's not bring these out just yet. Whoops. Alright, we can take that decision now. How many more days is this going to take? 75. We're not going to quite be able to get there. I think rapid mobilization is in order. And I actually think we're going to stop it there. Thank you for joining me. I'm Conquering History Games. I think this is going to be a very interesting campaign, especially depending on who joins certain factions. Especially if Xinjiang joins the Soviet Union, for example, or Communist China for that matter. But subscribe so that you're always going to be notified whenever a new episode of this series comes out. And I will see you in that next one. Bye.